Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Why are things that quick?
From the station that's on your side, this is News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Safe and sound after days of searching, a missing teen is back and a criminal investigation is now underway. Plus, business owners on Washington Road are looking forward to a new program to keep their property safe. Our Craig Allison live with more on that in a moment. But first, if you stepped outside today, things are looking extra hazy. You can see the smoke from, I'm not a meteorologist, wrong side here. You can see the smoke we're seeing out here. It looks hazy, but that is actually from those Canadian wildfires. This is our Beach Island camera, and the heat definitely blazing out there. We need a breeze soon. So Riley, can we expect some cool air or at least some windy air?
Unfortunately not, Laura. Unfortunately, the heat's going to be with us all week long, and we're actually looking at temperatures to be in the upper 90s the next several afternoons. This is actually going to be the hottest stretch we have seen since August of 2021, I believe. So it's been a couple years since we've seen heat like this. But we mentioned the smoke. The smoke is originating from northern Canada, so the jet stream breaks just about 10 minutes.
Today is the day the Richmond County Sheriff's Office is set to start its program aimed at cutting down on crime along the Washington Road at I-20 corridor. It's been nearly a week since the sheriff met with business owners who voiced concerns about issues with people experiencing homelessness. Our Craig Allison live on Washington Road. And Craig, you spoke to two business owners today. What did they say about the issues?
Well, that's right. There's some hope for this program, but there's still some anxiety over whether or not it's too late to reverse the damages done to these businesses. For one, it's just an extra precaution, but for another, it could be the difference of whether or not they leave Washington Road for good.
A grocery cart and pizza boxes sit unattended on the side of the road as a Richmond County Sheriff's car watches over Washington Road. While it's only day one, there's a feeling of extra security. Even for newer businesses, there's hope for change.
We have had to call the cops a couple of times over some of it. Most of the time they just kind of walk through or, dance or whatever they're doing, and they make their way that way towards the bridge. But most of the time they aren't really a bother, but we have had quite a few instances.
An added check to keep things fresh for Cafe Dulce as they approach 1 year here on Washington Road. But for more seasoned businesses like Two Boys Pizza and Grill, they say this issue has destroyed their good food reviews.
You love to stay in the front in here and sleep in the front, my door in the business. It's too much. I'm serious, it's too much.
He's been operating here for more than 2 years, but in the food business for decades. Closer to the I-20 bridge, he says he's also had to call the cops on overdose cases that then blocks people from leaving or entering when authorities arrive. If things don't get better soon, he says he may have to leave entirely in 6 or 7 months.
My customers, they scared to come to us now. I feel sorry for them, but nobody feels sorry for me, for my business.
Now, the Sheriff's Office says they're going to monitor this program over the next few weeks, gather some intel, and see how effective it is working. In Augusta, Craig Allison on your side.
A truly complicated problem, but you can see all the layers of it with these business owners. Craig, thank you. New tonight, the Bamberg Detention Center captain has resigned from her position. A police officer filed a complaint against her saying she made a racist comment. Incident reports say Latarsha Wilson made the comments to her daughter on the phone while her 20-year-old daughter was being pulled over by Bamberg police. Reports say Wilson was on speakerphone but thought she was having a private conversation. Officers claim Wilson told her daughter to calm down or else the officers would lock her up for nothing, because that's what blanks do. And she used another racial slur. Later on News 12 at 11, we'll have more on this report in Wilson's response to the incident. A 15-year-old is safe, and now a criminal investigation is underway. Aiden Conister went missing last Wednesday in Aiken. Police found him today in Rabun County up in North Georgia, about 3 hours away from his home on Cardinal Drive in Aiken. Investigators say they believe he ran away. Our Emma Ellis has some more details on why this is now a criminal investigation.
Gretchen Yakovitis knew she had to do something when she found out Aiden was missing. She set up the Facebook group Bring Aiden Conister Home.
So I knew setting that group up, using that as a central location to just disseminate information and get information incoming was going to be the best way to do that.
She made posts directing people to meet and break into search groups.
So it was amazing the number of people that came out. And then last night, even more so. People just want to help. They know that this kid is in a state where he needs to be found, and they came out in numbers.
However, as police began to get involved in the investigation, it became clear to them Aiden wasn't in Aiken anymore.
As I got into Friday night, Saturday morning, we started getting some information that we were able to follow up on later to figure out that he wasn't in Aiken. We knew that he was down toward North Georgia somewhere.
Aiden was found in Raven County, Georgia. Aiken Public Safety says he didn't get there alone.
This investigation is not over. We are starting a criminal investigation to see who was helping him, how they helped him, why they helped him. And once our investigation is complete, we'll go talk to our solicitor, and there's a possibility that someone or several people may be charged with assisting him.
In Aiken, Emma Ellis on your side.
Aiden is safe, he appears to be in good health, and he is at the hospital being evaluated. $15 million is set to help 11 of our local counties' Head Start programs. Georgia Senator John Ossoff announcing that funding today. And while there are requirements for these programs, more people qualify than you think. Our Hallie Turner explains.
In the CSRA, there's a need. One lawmaker says it comes down to education and poverty due to COVID. With the poverty level in Augusta nearly double the state level, Senator John Ossoff says he's putting a stop to children suffering from it.
There is unmet need. When it comes to early childhood education, it's never enough.
In order to meet the need, the CSRA Economic Opportunity Authority has a local Head Start program.
Health, vision, dental screening, medical screenings, play therapy.
Mary Harrison with the CSRA EOA says the need for this program post-pandemic is growing at a rapid rate.
It's challenging because, as you know, with any resources, there's more need than resource.
Statistics from the Census Bureau show 14% of Georgians live in poverty. In Richmond County, it's nearly double. Senator Ossoff says the pandemic is to blame.
Coming out of the pandemic, there was a real cost. Learning loss, socialization loss. For 3, 4, and 5-year-olds, that early childhood education is essential.
Which is why he says millions in funding is essential.
Art is a crucial program to ensure young children in Georgia have access to the nurturing educational environment that are so essential in early childhood.
Harrison says they usually get around $13 million each year, but this year, with the need growing, they will be able to provide more.
Staff salaries, hiring staff, just beefing up the services that we currently offer.
Without this, she says they wouldn't be able to continue serving more than 1,400 children each year.
You can't provide the service if you don't have the teachers, the TAs, the family service workers, the specialists to implement and provide those services.
Reporting in Augusta, Hallie Turner on your side.
Qualifying for Head Start is based on income, and kids also need to be under 5 years old. Kids in foster care or who are homeless are still eligible. To check if you're eligible, just click the link in this story on our website. New documents say Augusta firefighters are to blame for 2 separate crashes that totaled 2 different fire engines, costing the department hundreds of thousands of dollars. We also have new photos. You can see the damage from those crashes. There was a wreck on Washington Road right near I-20 and a separate accident just a few days later on Old Waynesboro Road and Neely Road. Previous reports blamed locked up brakes for both incidents, but after the investigation, the department found no issue with the brakes and listed speed as a main factor. In the Washington Road wreck, documents say the driver was not wearing a seatbelt and had personal protection clothing on. The reports say that's banned while driving. Both crashes happened in January, just a week apart from the other. Both firefighters behind the wheel were recommended for suspension as disciplinary action. Just into the newsroom, Augusta fire on the scene of a house fire on Hillsview Drive. This happened around 2 o'clock today. They say it was caused by food left on the stove. No one was hurt. They ran outside immediately and asked neighbors to call 911, which is the right thing to do. But the family did lose 2 pets, a dog and a cat, in that fire. After it was put out, the fire department gave the pets a burial and connected the family with the Red Cross. 2 middle schoolers are aimed at becoming world-class fishing champions. Still to come on News 12, we're learning how they got their start.
And we're looking at hot temps for the rest of the work week, potentially the hottest streak of weather we've seen in over 2 years. Update on the full forecast just after the break.
Sometimes
you just need a little more space in your home. Can't always get it, but with the right furniture, you can get more out of the space you do have. It's easy at Rooms to Go. Fashionable, functional furniture that helps you do more for less. So turn any room into a guest room. Turn a small space into something more. Turn a spare room into your favorite room. And transform your home into exactly what you need. I'm Julianne Huff, and this is what's possible at Rooms to Go.
For us. And as those storm chances do increase late into the week and early this weekend, we will see those temperatures level out low 90s by this Saturday and Sunday, with those chances for a few pop-up afternoon storms.
Most 11 and 13-year-olds want to play football, maybe baseball, but a pair of middle schoolers in Aiken County are taking their fishing skills to the World Bass Fishing Championship. Our Will Bull caught up with the pair out on the pond to learn how they got started.
Gage and Braxton love fishing together.
We're both pretty good, so we make good teammates.
They're both in middle school. They started fishing competitively about a year ago. Ever since, they've won multiple tournaments together.
It's really unbelievable that kids start fishing at a young age and actually fishing competitive in bass tournaments.
Raymond Bailey is their boat captain, but he says Gage and Braxton do all the fishing.
They worked hard to do it, and to be a part of it. It's really exciting for them kids to learn how to bass fish at this age.
Their hard work led them to a junior state championship in South Carolina. Because of their success, they qualified to compete for a world championship in Oklahoma.
Always excited, especially when we get to go to Oklahoma. I think it'll be a good opportunity to go down there, but I just hope to go down there and represent our community good.
These two middle schoolers love fishing. Soon, that love of fishing will take them halfway across the country. But until then, you can probably find them somewhere on the water here, where it all started. In Aiken County, Will Volk, on your side.
And their competition starts next week in Oklahoma, and we certainly hope the big fish are biting. If you want to follow along, they'll post updates on Facebook. We'll link you to their page on our website. Love for the game of golf runs very deep in Augusta. Next in sports, Dan has the story of a pair of twins making a name for themselves on the course.
All right, what do we got?
Looks like 64 yards to the pin.
Time runs out, we'll give you $500. Buy your car in 30 minutes or less, only at Gerald Jones Honda.
All right, what do we got?
Looks like 64 yards to the pin. About 64 mile per hour winds.
Dude, there's no wind.
Hand me my 64-degree wedge.
What's it with you at 64?
Are you 64?
.com!
A car wreck can change your life. We have the experience to help you get the money that you deserve.
On your sideline, sports brought to you by the Hawk Law Group.
Every year, the Drive, Chip, and Putt National Finals take place at Augusta National the Sunday before the start of the Masters, and a dynamic duo from right here in Augusta is one step closer to qualifying. Sadie and Addie Munns are 10-year-old twins from right here in Augusta. Both of them have made it to the second round of the Drive, Chip, and Putt qualifier.
It's fun when I spend the moments with my family, going to these tournaments, and then I get to spend time with them, or when I'm at the course at Westlake, I get to spend time with my dad and then Sadie, and then we get to play and have fun together. And after tournaments, sometimes we talk about our round together, and it's really fun, and we talk about what we did right and wrong.
Their passion for the game came from a youth clinic at Westlake. That passion turned into love, which evolved into a healthy competition between two siblings.
I have someone to play with when I'm playing golf, and it's really fun because we can learn from each other. Sometimes we might be really close together when we hit our drives because we can hit it the same. And it's really fun when we're together playing, and some of them we're playing in tournaments too.
A lot of the men on the course will say, who's going to win today? And both of them say, I am. So they both have a very healthy, competitive spirit, but at the same time, they have a good sportsmanship attitude towards one another.
Sadie and Addie's mom, Nicole, says they're out on the course every chance they get.
I think on the 4th of July, it was like 100 degrees, and they said, can we go play? And I said, no, I've taken you so many times. It's too hot right now.
If Sadie and Addie keep having fun while driving, chipping, and putting, the sky's the limit.
It would be fun one day to play in Anwa or to one day play at the national finals.
Both Sadie and Addie's sub-regionals are later on this summer. Now it's out with the old and in with the new all around the CSRA. This time last year, Columbia County installed new turf fields at all of their high schools. Now Richmond County is hopping on the bandwagon. As Alyssa Lyons reports, it's just in time for football season.
When fans step into the stands for a Friday night high school football game in Richmond County, they'll see some big changes, and one of the biggest ones is a new field.
They're still getting used to their new playbook, but they'll have to get used to their new field first.
Kids always underestimate the turf. You know, once you get on turf, everybody is faster.
Laney hasn't had a renovation like this since Memorial Stadium opened in 2006.
Jeff, come on now, I got it. Hey, here we go. Hey, ball right there. Offense in the huddle. Give me a defense on it.
It's contagious. For Butler, Cross Creek, Westside, and Laney, it levels the playing field in more ways than one.
And then when he come off and get. I like to say keep up with the competition when you're saying facilities and field and things of that nature. You know, you don't want to be the one school or the one team that, you know, practicing with less or working with less and having to go play these guys.
Each field costs the district a little more than $1 million. It's built with a shock pad to help reduce injuries.
Turf is not as given as people think it is. You know, it's always, I'm super fast, but it also, if you ain't used to it, you can slip and, you know, fall a lot. And that's where we at now, trying to get adjusted and what type of shoes to wear and things like that. Come down, and I come on.
They don't know how good they have it.
When I played, the turf had the concrete underneath, and then it had some rubber. Well, this turf actually has the concrete, and then it has foam, and that's basically the biggest difference. Is the foam up underneath is supposed to make it a lot softer and a lot better track. You come this way, I go that way.
In Augusta, Alyssa Lyons on your side.
Glen Hills, Hepzibah, Josie, and ARC are the only schools in the district not to receive turf fields. That's it for sports. We'll be right back after this quick break.